I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into a wonderful book. It is called Finding Light in Philadelphia, an anthology of philosophical poetry, Volume 1. It's written by a terrific author and poet. His name is Dr. Luc M. Oke, MD, PhD. This compelling collection fuses poetry and philosophy, exploring deep existential questions and the social issues that shape our world. Be prepared to be captivated as the doctor's words strike like thunder and cut like a laser, challenging us to reflect, question, and discover new perspectives. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing this powerful book. The links are below the interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan.
Great to have you on the show, sir. Tell me what inspired you to blend philosophy and poetry in this amazing book.
Yes, so since I was a kid, I love poetry. So I've been writing poetry, and also I love philosophy. So I've been reading a lot of great philosophical authors. And at one point, actually, when I was in Philadelphia about 10 years ago, I just had the inspiration to write about some philosophical questions and some events. So I decided to merge those two things together and to make it easy to read. So that was my inspiration.
Absolutely, and you succeeded with your goal, no doubt. What are some of the philosophical questions that you pose in your book?
Yes, so I posed different questions, and some of those questions are questions any human being will ask themselves sometime. Why are we here? For example, what are we doing here? What is our destiny? And how do we make our existence better or make society better? So those are the questions I ask myself. Sometimes I have answers, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm sure many people have the same experience and ask themselves the same question. So I try to go through some of those questions in a organized manner and share them with the readers.
Absolutely. So why are we here? What is the purpose of this existence? What are your thoughts about that, Doctor?
Yes, I think we are here at school. We came here to go to school, to learn, to improve our soul, and to go back. So we have to learn as much as we can while we are here. And we have to improve ourselves, which we should not live here the same way we came. So that's actually the key question that we need to be asking ourselves. So I think people sometimes they are busy in their daily lives and they don't sit down and reflect and ask those questions. So that's what I try to do in my book in different ways.
Sure. We want to live a purpose-driven life. We want to be here with a reason, a cause, a goal, no doubt. So you believe this existence is basically a trial run for eternity?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we are here to learn. We are here to have more experience, and we are here to discover, to enrich our life and our soul. And I think we need to sit down and sometime make a pause and think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the fundamental questions a lot of people have is, why do bad things happen to good people? Have you tackled that, and have you come up with a workable answer?
Yes, so I think actually whatever happened may be bad at the time it's happening, but it's probably a lesson, an experience that you have to go through to learn something. You know, I wrote in one of my poem that actually failure it's not failure.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a way to show you something you have to learn, and maybe sometime to show you another road, to open another door. So I think most of the time when we are going through some bad experience, it's difficult.
Mm.
But at the end, sometimes it's the best thing to happen to you.
Yeah.
I started writing this book. Actually, I was going through a very challenging experience.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly I got the inspiration and I started writing.
Mm.
And this book came out. And from that day, I've been writing all the time.
Wonderful. So out of darkness came light.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's talk about light a little bit. Finding Light in Philadelphia. What do you mean by that? Talk to us a little bit about the title of your book.
Yes. So about 10 years ago, I was in Philadelphia to for some professional experience to improve my skill as a physician.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a challenge. It was a very challenging time. I had some experience I never had before. And I was working very hard, and it was never good.
Mm.
So I go home exhausted, and I lay down in my bed, try to relax. And then suddenly I start having this inspiration to write.
Mm.
So I got inspired at the deepest time of my life. So that's how it started. And that's why I titled this book Finding Light in Philadelphia, because everything started in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Being a doctor, you're closer to life and death than most of us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that makes you more philosophical? Do you think that makes you question our existence more than most people who only know death from very close people?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And it may be a good thing or a bad thing being a doctor, because sometimes you have somebody's life in your hand, and you make a small mistake, it can cost the person's life.
Right.
That's difficult. That's a big responsibility. So it makes you think
Yeah,
long before you do what you do.
absolutely.
Sometimes you also see a person who just talk to you, and the next minute is gone.
Mm. Yeah.
So those are very challenging experience that doctors go through all the time. And
Yeah.
at one point, they start they become philosopher, if I
Yeah.
see that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being a doctor, yes, put you in a position where you face some question, philosophical question that you have to answer. Yes, I agree.
Because I've always thought that a hospital is almost like a subculture. It's this place where people are almost alienated and put to when they're sick, when they're dying, when they're injured, and also when they're being born, to give a positive spin to it as well. But it's a unique place to be, in a place where virtually everyone is ill.
Mm-hmm.
Many people are dying. People are in pain and suffering. And the work you do is so important. The work the nurses do is so important. What the orderlies do is so important. You're lifting people's spirits, you're giving them hope. And in the case of a doctor, actually, in many ways, deciding or determining the outcome of their lives.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, you said very well. You know, hospital is the place where everything happens.
Yeah,
People are happy because a baby is born.
right.
People are crying because somebody is dead.
Yeah,
And people are in pain. And pain is very difficult. It's very difficult to see a human being in pain. It's difficult to watch.
yeah,
Difficult to
absolutely.
watch. Yes. So, or you see a person who is terminally ill,
Yeah,
and asking you to end his life.
yeah,
What do you do? So those are situations that get you into some philosophical question.
yeah.
Yes. So yes, a hospital is a special place.
Absolutely. It does get you thinking, what's it all about? No doubt. Let's talk about the self-evaluation aspect of your poetry. Tell us about that.
Okay, so every day, for example, this book allow me to see where I am, to ask myself question. If I have learned something today, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? How to make my life better every day? So these are a question I put down. Actually, one of the poem I wrote in this book is what did I learn today?
Mm-hmm.
What did I learn today? Every day you have to learn something new. You have to try to learn something new. Learn something new will get you closer to perfection. Step by step, inch by inch, you get close to perfection. See? So, but if you don't ask yourself, what have I learned today? Or if you don't try to learn something today, or if you don't think about learning something today, you say the way you are.
Exactly.
Yes. So, and it's not learning something huge. It's small thing that you need to try to learn every day, and it pile up, and you grow.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think if you're not doing that, in a way, you're dying.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
that's what's sad about the people who are relegated to, nursing homes sometimes. They're
Mhm.
not out there, they're not with people, they're not engaging, and the mind isn't expanding. Once your mind stops expanding, you stop growing and you really stop living.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is, and this has been scientific and proven.
Yeah.
Those who keep learning live longer,
Yep.
and they have less probability to get disease like Alzheimer.
Exactly.
So that is very true.
Exactly.
That
You got to
is,
lift weights for your muscles. You got to lift intellectual weights for your brain. If you don't use it, you lose it. It's true with any
you
body
lose it.
part,
Yes,
without a
yes.
doubt.
You lose it. You lose it.
Before we leave you, let me ask you this, sir. What do
Mhm.
you hope readers take away from your philosophy and from your poetry?
The key point I want reader to take away is to be self-conscious,
Mhm.
self-aware
Mhm.
of themselves, and try to challenge themselves and try to ask themselves questions. There was a great philosopher by the name of Socrates who said,
Mhm.
know thyself.
Yes.
Know thyself means you have to ask yourself questions. So that's what I want the reader to take away from this book. And many people who read the book, for example, they agree. They say these are questions sometimes they ask themselves, and they forget.
Yeah.
So that's the key thing I want the reader to take from the book, that we need to be aware of our existence. We need
Exactly.
to be challenging our knowledge, and we need to try to learn all the time.
Exactly. An examined life, a self-examined life is a life worth living. So we
Exactly.
do have to question our purpose. We do have to question the reasons. We do have to explore the mysteries. We do have to use our own philosophical brains to try to figure out things that have stumped great thinkers throughout the ages. And it'll make for, at the very least, a provocative dinner conversation, right?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I
Wonderful. The
absolutely
name of the
agree.
book we've been talking about today is Finding Light in Philadelphia, an anthology of philosophical poetry. Volume 1 is written by a terrific author, a terrific doctor, and a terrific poet. In this book, the doctor has compiled compelling poems and philosophical passages. He fuses poetry and philosophy together, exploring deep existential questions and the social issues that shape our world. Be prepared to be captivated as the doctor's words strike like thunder and cut like a laser, challenging us to reflect, question, and discover new perspectives. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight. I
Thank you.
appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure. And to the
Thank
folks
you.
at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.